Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another Daily Market Report brought to you by Mike Bjork. Today is Thursday. It's May 11th. We got just a couple items here on the docket today, and we'll start off with the weekly jobless claims. So last week we had 238,000 people apply for unemployment. Forecast for this week was supposed to go up a little bit to 245,000, and it actually dropped. So it came in only at 236. So good numbers right there. Again, we've been kind of seeing this range in the 230 range for quite a while. Sometimes we'll have a little bit of a spike higher for about a week or two, and then it comes right back down to this range. So it basically tells us that jobs are getting much better right now. So that's obviously a good sign that the economy is picking up if employers are hiring more people. Last but not least, we got the Producer Price Index, which is also known as the PPI. Now, this is the headline number without the core. But the headline number, it dropped, as you can see, April. It was supposed to be a 0.2% increase, and it jumped up 0.5%. This is the hottest that we've seen in inflation in the wholesale inventory side or wholesale side of things since 2012. So kind of caught the market by surprise. Even when you strip out food and energy, it was up a bit more. It was like again, like here it was like 0.2% expectation for, it came up like 0.4% for the core. So still a pretty high number there, and it was went up like 5 or 2.8 over the last 12 months percent. So obviously that's a pretty brisk, so to speak, put it lightly, increase in the cost to the wholesalers. Now tomorrow we'll be getting the CPI number, which is a more important number because this is a number that the Fed will gauge more as weigh it more in the terms of what's being passed on to the consumer. So PPI always doesn't always pass on, even though their costs go up, doesn't always get passed on to the consumer. So we'll wait and see tomorrow with the CPI number as to what that will bring, if that's going to have a pretty big spike, or or if it doesn't follow suit, maybe they're not pushing it on to the consumers. So, and the Fed, in their we've been getting a lot of meetings from the Fed, and they've been kind of, a lot of them are pretty comfortable that inflation's moving upwards and will be in their range. So they're feeling pretty good where everything's moving towards. So that's why they're comfortable with raising rates 3 times this year at least. So and the next one looks to be June. So right now the Fed funds futures rate, or Fed futures rate, is right around 88% chance of them raising the interest rates in June at their June meeting. So let's take a look here at the headline news. The stock market's down. The Dow is actually down at 100 right now, and a lot of it's taking skews not only from the data we got today, especially the PPI number, but we had a lot of earnings reports that were a huge miss. Like Snapchat was a big one, and Macy's was another one that are kind of dropping the market here. So let's look at the bond market, and as you can see, the bond market's continuing its downward trend here. So we're down about 7 basis points. We did break below the 25 and 100-day moving average here. As you can see here, or actually, I'm sorry, the 50-day and 100-day moving average. We got more room here where we could fall further. But the main thing we're going to want to keep an eye on is the 10-year yield, making sure that the yield doesn't get too out of hand. So if it gets out of hand, this could create a bigger sell-off in the mortgage-backed securities or bonds. And speaking of such, the Fed will be selling 30-year bonds later today, which could have an impact. It did have an impact yesterday when the auction garnered a D rating, basically. So it was not a very good rating, and basically it the stock market, or the bond market, actually, as you can see here, we had a price correction, price for the worst, and it worsened by quite a bit yesterday. So pricing's pretty much about where we left off yesterday. We're down only about 7 basis points, but again, you still want to keep an eye on this and wait and see as to if it drops further today, or might maintain this level or not. Okay, folks, so that pretty much concludes our video today. But if you guys want more data throughout the day, just come over to Twitter. You can find me at Mike Bjork on Twitter. Also, if you guys are looking for a mortgage, I do help. I am a loan officer. I do help out people with their purchase needs, with pre-approvals, as well as the financing of those properties, as well as those who are looking to refinance, whether it's taking money out of the property or getting a rate in term, lowering their interest rate. We help them all. All right, you guys have a great day. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll look forward to see you guys tomorrow.